Yeah, it's that
Oh,
What was the last time
Lionsgate
that he
money.
was here? I
put
can't
let's put
remember.
our phones on. Alrighty, everything's recording. All right, let me jump here real quick. So, all right, guys, welcome back to another podcast here at HBR, Houston Business and Real Estate. We are the best podcast in Houston for your real estate information, live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We have a repeat guest today, hasn't been on the pod since we did the update. So, you're going to get some high quality content from him.
Come on,
Great guest. His name is Orion. I'm going to go ahead and let himself introduce
come on,
himself,
man.
where they can find you, and then we'll go from there.
Appreciate that. Orion Grove at ATS Capital is the company. It's Orion Grove Instagram. I'm ready to do this, my friend. Thank you, Giovanni, for the invite.
Gotcha. Well, just so they know, like, what's your work? Like, what do you do? What's your
Yeah,
background?
buy and sell real estate. That's dominantly what we do. Buy and sell real estate. Do creative investments. So like seller finance, subject to innovations, retail listings, wholesale, flip them. We'll buy and hold ourselves. Creative investments.
Awesome.
So I'm Nate Balderas. I'm the master broker for Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on all my social media outlets at Better Call Nate.
Flor Velasquez with Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on all my social medias. Flor Velasquez Realtor.
All right, guys. And of course, you know me. I'm Giovanni Frank here, the gracious host at APR. And we're going to jump right into it. Today's topic is really about how to get endless amount of referrals. It's what everybody's always talking about when they get into real estate. Of course, everybody tries to avoid the hard path of cold calling, door knocking, letter writing, putting themselves out there, even on the cameras. For some people, that even stifles them in their progress, right, to become a realtor or just in sales in general, right? So everybody's always shooting for those repeat clients, those repeat referrals. And I wanted to structure this podcast to talk a little bit about how we can go from out there and looking for the business to having the business come to us. And the only way that I really think you can do that is by having client appreciation. And what does that actually mean? And how do you see that in your case, in each individual basis here? We'll go ahead and start off with you.
Client appreciation. So you're talking about referrals. Yeah, definitely. Like
Mhm.
I always say this, money is the byproduct of the services you provide. So act as a service and the money will come. That's just the byproduct. So service. But then yeah, one is like if you serve your customer at a high level, like they're gonna talk about it. But also something that everybody needs to do is ask for the referral. So like after you've done the business, you need to ask for the referral. Sometimes people think the transaction is completed at the closing table when everything's closed and funded. But at the end of the night, you need like that repeat business is up to you. So like asking you shall receive in a sense. So asking for the referral is definitely important. But you need to have a quality service to the customer as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think that providing the quality service up front, of course, during the transaction is the most important part, and that's how it becomes word of mouth. But it's true what you say, right? It's very important for you to actually ask for the referral, especially if this is like a client that you had, let's say, a year or two ago. They might have forgot, what you helped them out, and you might not be top of mind anymore. So calling them back, checking in with them, and sometimes not even directly asking for that referral.
I mean, I hope you're not
is the
waiting a
way to
year
get
for
it.
asking for that referral.
Yeah, exactly,
You asking
right?
for it like right
Exactly,
after the deal,
right?
my friend. You know what I mean? Like even in the middle of the deal, like you got rapport with the customer. Like that's something in your sales process. I feel like.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
exactly.
what we do at least. You know what I mean? Something that you ask the customer. That's part of the bit. I mean, that's part of your sales process. It's like you got a lot of these real estate agents, my friends, like they need training 100%. I mean, they're good people. I have love and compassion for people. However, it's just a lack of training for people that they don't know about customer service. They just think like, I'm going to put a nice dress on. I get to put my sign in front of the yard and I'm going to go talk to some people today. My friend, but what's the conversation? The conversation is service, but how are you going to serve somebody? By being a good communicator. How are we going to get that point across? We need to get our point across. We need to be aggressive in the sense of where we need to have non-negotiables, but then it all falls back to service 100%. And always got to ask for the referrals, Giovanni.
Now, let me ask you a question. When does asking for the sale, at what point in your career does that stop? Does it ever stop asking for the sale?
Asking for the sale. Does it ever stop? Mr. Nate, does it ever stop? I don't think it ever stops in the sense of like, if this is what you do every day, it's like, but it goes back to service, Nate. Real talk. So it's like, if you got to ask for the close. Like you're not serving something. You're not closing a transaction. You close a transaction by service. So if you're serving somebody and you don't get this deal done for them, whatever the situation is, you don't close this deal for your listing. Like you don't get the deal done. You that's part of your duty, your obligation, your responsibility is asking for the close. Nobody's getting served or nobody's getting serviced if you don't ask for the close and close the deal. In real estate, like this is 100% commission type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're hunting every day, hunting and gathering. Service, my friend. It doesn't stop. No, it doesn't stop. To answer your question.
Well,
What do you think?
I think that at some point of your career, your service, your customer service, and the service that you give your client, that should speak for itself. That should ask for the sale itself. The way you treat that person. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
You should create, and I always say this, right? You should create raving fans. And when you create raving fans, you no longer have to just straight up do the direct approach and ask for sale. Now I do believe that whenever you first come into this career, right, you should be asking for the sale. And it irks me whenever I have a person that's been in sales for a year or 2 years, and you're telling them to ask for the sale, you're telling them to pull out all the stops, and they say, I don't want to beg nobody for a sale. And it's like, you're not begging. You're asking because you're doing a service. You give them customer service, and if you see that they like your customer service, you ask them for the sale, you ask for the referral, you ask for those things.
A lot of real estate agents are scared to do that.
Yeah,
or salespeople in general.
And
scared.
And that's one of the reasons why we're gonna have a lot of real estate agents exit the business because they don't know how to ask for the commission.
Dude, bro, we need to do
That's the main.
Yeah.
That's the main problem. Yes.
Yeah.
There needs to be a good person out there that's teaching people how to ask for the sale.
Yes.
Real
Definitely.
estate agents don't have training, man. They got the HAR stuff. A lot of
you're right.
brokerages don't train. You know, I know Lionsgate they train.
Oh, yeah.
Victorino, Nate, Victor.
Definitely.
I mean Giovanni.
And I think what you said earlier, right? It is part of the job. Asking for the sale, where the beginning of the deal, the middle of the deal, the end of it, asking for the referrals. And I think that's where a lot of realtors get lost in the weeds, because once they close the deal, they either completely forget about that client, so they leave them in the back end, or they're afraid to go back to them and ask them for referrals. When they forget that sales, literally what sales is, it's providing a service. Your service,
100%.
You're giving somebody a service, and people forget that all the time. So the reason why they're scared to ask for that referral is because they don't feel like they have value to offer that person. So they're scared to pick up that phone and be like, hey, just checking in, how you've been doing. By the way, is there anybody that I can help?
Yeah, I love that.
Anybody, if you think that my services are good, I would hope that you would, refer me out. But sometimes you got to remind them of what you do,
for sure.
Especially if it's 5 years down the road.
You talked about value, Giovanni. I always say this to my guys. When value exceeds price, a transaction is made. It's like a teeter-totter. You got more value, the price. Think about it. Like we buy gas every day for our car. The value of that gas, whatever it costs, we need it to get to next to A to B. Like the clothes that you buy, the food that you buy, the value exceeded the price. So you buy organic food or whatever it is. When value exceeds price, a transaction is made. So when you're talking to these customers, service, the value is there. They're going to do business with you. Like we buy off-market real estate. So we get we get deals for, pennies on the dollar in a sense. So why is this customer giving us this property for a less price when he has a higher offer? Because the value exceeded the price and the transaction is made. 100%.
Yeah, I do agree. Definitely, like whenever you start, since the moment you start, with that transaction, you have to really have in mind that you're going to be doing or providing an excellent service with the idea that you're going to be getting, that referral back, like already in mind. If you leave that client without the idea of thinking that, like I didn't do a good job, they're not going to refer me. I mean, what type of job did you do?
Now, let me ask you a question.
Not a good one.
I have a question for everybody here. Whenever you have a client, right? Do they ask you or question your commission or whatever you're going to make off of a deal?
In our state of business, they don't, because we get it for this price and then we sell it for that price.
What about you?
I've never had that happen to me.
And you, Flo? I've never. My clients do not ask me about my commission. They don't ask me what I'm getting. Why am I getting that? They literally just, they know what I'm doing. They know what I provide, and they know that I give them more than what they're gonna. They feel like they're saving more using me than whatever the commission can be.
Well, you know what? Let me answer that correctly, because I did lie, right? The only time I've been asked, I've been asked like 2 or 3 times.
Family.
And no. They've actually asked me, okay, well, how do I pay you? And then I got to tell them, well, I explain to them how, as some people say, there's technicalities on how you explain it, but I explain to them exactly how I get paid.
And
because they're worried about me getting paid. It's taken care of. It's already worked into the deal. the lender can explain it to you if needed. Yeah.
That's what Letty brought up. That's what, that we have a lot of that over there where people are like, oh, well, how much do I pay? Do I have to pay you up front? Do I have to give you the money now? And you know what's funny about that is that I have had people, right, that have told me, oh yeah, this real estate agent, she wanted me to help, she said she was going to help me, but she asked me for $2,000-3,000 up front, right? And then I had one of my realtors was like, no, that's wrong. That's that's fraud, and they shouldn't be asking you for that, and they shouldn't this and they shouldn't that. And I remember telling my agent, I said, hey, take it easy. I said, no. I said, if that realtor asked for money up front, she's gonna get paid regardless. She's providing a service. You shouldn't put it in that buyer's mind that they're getting defrauded. Now, if they gave them money and never saw them again, or they gave them money and just didn't do what they were supposed to do, that's a different story, and that's none of your business. She's a realtor, they're realtors, and they, whatever they have set up with them, that's their business. Don't put into anybody's head that a realtor asking you for money up front is fraud. It's not.
Honestly,
You guys ask for money up. I'm sorry. You guys ask for money up front?
I've never done it
Real estate
myself,
agents do
but
that?
I do.
Okay.
yeah, I've never done it myself.
I
But
love that.
it's changing.
That's confidence.
Yeah, it's changing. You're gonna have to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
no, honestly, whenever
that.
I first got into the business, I spoke with different people, different clients that had been in this situation similar to what Nate is saying, and I was like, oh my goodness, why they're doing that to you after dealing with certain people.
I didn't want to call you out.
I realized that, oh, okay, now I see why people ask, or no people, agents, ask for that money up front, or for that returner's fee up front,
Yeah.
because, there is really a lot of people out there that don't see the value in us because we don't show them the actual value that we can provide for them.
It's like a consultation.
It's a retainer fee.
Definitely.
I ask for a retainer fee. I mean, anybody who uses me as a realtor is going to get their value.
Yeah.
The only thing is that
That's dope, man.
you're gonna go through with this deal.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go out there and spend a lot of time
Sure.
dealing with your transactions
Yeah.
without me getting paid. So I ask for retainer fee, and of course,
I like that.
I'll tell them exactly. It's not endless. I'm not an attorney, right? I'm not gonna just start running a clock. I tell you how much it is. I tell you how much I want up front, right? And we're gonna go through this whole thing. And sometimes a lot of the times it's because it's gonna be a hard deal. It's gonna be a scary deal. It's gonna be a deal with a lot of moving parts.
Sure.
And you just don't understand how many people just give up.
Yeah. And them transferring money over to you in the very beginning, they're law of commitment. They're committed.
Definitely.
They're more
Definitely.
committed.
And now it's gonna get a little bit more difficult, especially with these new chains that are going into. Because now I saw a realtor the other day. They made a post about how that the only option period that they take is non-refundable whenever they have a listing. And with their sellers, they explain to them why they do the non-refundable option period is because the option period is not for you to negotiate the contract.
Yes.
During that period.
I've always said
so
that.
they let the realtor know, hey, if you're submitting 3 or 4 offers and your client's only going to throw $100 option period to all 4 and they're willing to lose the contract, we're not here to do that. If you're going to do that, let those 3 drop, then come back to us. If you're going to make an offer here, you're serious about it. If something needs to be fixed or something's completely out of pocket with the house during that option period, then let's negotiate then. But this is not for you to just get out of the contract because you're getting cold feet. And a lot of realtors do tell their buyers, oh yeah, you can just leave you can just drop the contract during the 7 days because option period, which technically you can, depending on how it is explained. And some realtors, some on the listing side won't push back on it, but that's not what the option period is for.
The option period is not a just cancel at will.
Get out of jail free card.
It's not a cancel at will. And the thing about it is that, a lot of times realtors will use it as a negotiating tool. And I tell people before they went to option, I said, look, this is not a negotiating tool. So, they come back and say, oh, no, it needs, I don't like the color of the house. Wait, hold on. The reasons that your person is canceling and using the option to cancel is for things that they saw in the walkthrough. Okay. This inspector has pointed out nothing that you did not see other than the year of the you know of the water heater, or the year of the AC. And so this is you're being unethical,
Sure.
and you're trying to renegotiate, and my client is not having it, and you know this, you know, and I push that, and people get upset, and you know, you'd be surprised how many realtors don't know that that's unethical, and they'll take it all the way to their broker, you know, and get their broker involved.
What are they doing?
And then their broker will be like, yeah, oh, you know, like try to smooth it over, you know, and but you know, you're not supposed to renegotiate at the option, because that's not a negotiating tool.
After. No, absolutely, absolutely not. What are you talking about? Option periods are refundable?
The option
I've
period,
always thought they're non-refundable.
You can make them
They're
refundable.
option
they can
periods
go
are
back
refundable?
to the buyer.
It can.
You can. It depends on how you write up the offer.
Yeah.
It depends on how you write up the offer.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question, Giovanni. Do you think it's a weak real estate agent saying that my client is given a refundable option period? Isn't that kind of like weak?
It can be.
It's weak on the one that gives it up.
It
You're
can
wasting
be
time, my friend.
If the what's the word I'm looking for? If things
are not disclosed.
If
things are not real estate agent is the word you're looking for.
On the buyer or the listing side.
Well, the thing is this: if things aren't disclosed properly, it can be. If you don't disclose certain things, I mean,
never heard that.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not a real estate.
But once again, you know, it's like you said, it takes a very, you know, inexperienced realtor. Yeah.
So in my opinion, right, whether it's refundable or not, it's up to the listing agent whether they're weak or not, if they're going to let that option period go back, right? I think that's where the listing agent has to put their feet on the ground and be like, hey, you're not backing out of this contract, even though this is refundable and you can back out technically, right? But that you're not backing out with this without reasonable cause.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just you make, because I've seen agents do that. Oh, you can make 4 offers and you're only going to have to pay $100 on one, so you can back out if you get the one that you want. That's not what the option period is for.
So the thing.
And then it's the listing agent's fault if they let the
that's why they need training.
That is super unethical. You can't make 2 offers at the same time. You have to do one at a time.
They do that.
Because if they both get executed,
then you're legally binded.
Yeah, you're legally binded. And a lot of people think, oh no, they didn't turn in earnest money. No, that's not true.
You have to.
If it's executed, you know, it's executed, and you can force that contract.
Yeah.
And if the I've heard realtors say, oh no, it's because they made an offer another one, and the other one got accepted. I say, well, hold on, no, we have 2 accepted contracts now. Now you have to go into contract here, and you have to terminate. And they think it's a joke. They think they're like,
you have to turn in both earnest and option.
Yes.
Yeah,
I made a real estate agent, and he's actually related to the owner of the Remax franchise. I made that guy turn it in. He thought I was joking. I have all his emails, and I saved them all. And I said, hey, you know what? I know you're Remax house attorney. I said, I'm gonna send all this to him. He said, send it. I don't care. You know, and he didn't know that I knew that his cousin was the owner. And I turned it, and they ended up paying it. I think it was your deal, right?
Yeah.
I forced it. I said, no, you wasted my guy's time. You're gonna pay the money.
Yeah, and I was like, no, you're not backing out with that. And then right away, whenever they don't want to, like, okay, let my broker handle it.
Yeah.
That's what he gets paid for.
Yeah.
Dude, we're on the off market side. I thought I was in the Wild Wild West. It seems like you guys on the on market side is in the Wild Wild West.
What y'all do is
it's not supposed to.
Option
it's
money?
not the whole thing that is not supposed to be like that, right? Your side is supposed to be the Wild Wild West, right?
It is.
Ours is not, but nobody enforces anything on our side because it's been so easy for the longest.
Yeah.
But it's not like that no more.
Y'all deal with a lot of like affidavit of airships, AOHs.
No.
Sometimes,
oh my god, like that's
explain that for people who
some
an affidavit airship. Yeah. So like when somebody passes away, if they don't leave a will, even if they do leave a will, it has to go through probate to make it valid. So so there's no will. So for the children or whoever's next in line to own the property, they have to do paperwork to make them legally the owners to sell the property, and it's called an affidavit heirship. So let's say mother dies, okay, and then they have 2 children. It would go to the children, but there's no will in place. So now the title company needs to do something called an affidavit of heirship for the 2 children to legally have the rights to sell the property.
So the thing is that sounds really easy, right?
It's not easy.
But it's not.
But all the siblings and all the heirs
all of them
have to come to an agreement,
all of them,
and have to all sign it. And not just that, you have to have another person that's a witness that says
2
yes,
2 witnesses.
you know the mom did want to give it to the son, the older son or the youngest son or whatever. And if you can't get them all in line, it's a
And-
headache.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Break a deal.
so in our reality, we have run into those issues,
I
right?
deal with them every day.
With properties. The problem with that is that a listing agent is not supposed to list a property without being able to clear a title. You see,
For sure,
and
right?
and there's people
Yeah.
that do list them. They
Yeah.
they just throw it on the market, see what happens.
So the thing is also because there's only one person missing out of the 10 or whatever sons or daughters.
Yeah.
Title won't assure or ensure the
Yeah.
the title basically.
Yeah.
Or
Oh yeah, you went through that, right? On the
Yeah.
buying, you were on the buying end, right?
I still
Yeah.
have a property under contract. because-
Dang.
Yes, because one of the sons decided that he didn't want to do anything with the family at all. He moved to another state. He changed names and everything, and nobody can find them.
I've actually done. Well, this is years ago, right? Before everybody was a real estate agent, right? I got I had some kids that they were all wanting to break it up evenly, except for one person. That one person, it's like, oh, nobody helped mom and nobody came and I did everything and mom said this was my
Mhm.
house and all that stuff, right? And so then I actually got them with I did it myself actually, and I took them to the title company and we broke up that whole profit into equal shares for all the brothers, right? And I essentially just got all the money thrown into a trust, and let them battle it out after we closed. And the reason was that if they would have battled it out while we were in the contract, they signed a contract, so my client could have sued, for that property, and they would have lost even more money. So we got an attorney to get all that put into a trust, and then the attorney loves it because he's making money off the trust, managing it. So that's one of the things that I do with whenever they start giving me too much problems and too much headaches. I just say, you know what, I'm gonna grab all that money. You're in the contract. Either you're gonna get sued or you're gonna put all this money in the trust, and y'all can battle it out yourselves later.
I get it. Y'all deal with
Mhm.
refundable option money, and
Right.
then I deal with AOHs.
And that's how I bought the house that I'm living in.
I was watching some realtors talking about one of their main goals was to be able to give their clients like Louis Vuitton gifts at closing, because that's how they want to show appreciation to their clients. What do you personally think about realtors that give big extravagant gifts at closing? What do you think that says about that?
I think nothing says. I think nothing says I made a lot of money from you that I don't need, and that I really don't give a care about, than giving them an expensive, extravagant gift. It's literally saying I'm wasting money. I made so much money on you, and I really don't need it, and I can blow it, and I'm gonna give you a gift because here, your money ain't nothing to me.
I mean,
That's how I see it.
The way I see it is that, let's say if you're going to give a gift that is really expensive, why give a gift, that is going to be, I don't know, a purse, whatever. Instead, why don't you give them an experience? Something that is going to be more like memorable for them, and actually think about you maybe in the future and say, hey, they gave me, maybe a trip, whatever. If you're making that much money out of them.
Mhm.
Ooh, so
That's the thing
the great debate: a trip or a cruise?
Oh my god! So let me ask you guys a question, because
I
I mean,
I hate cruises, bro.
That's the thing in real estate.
No, that's not a
like
thing.
buying like a I don't know,
Some
$3,000 bag or something.
Some realtors do.
They're
doing
giving
that?
they're giving
doing
Cartier gifts. They're giving
Yes,
freaking,
I've seen
And
that.
if you look on
Tiffany
HAR, they've only closed one deal this whole
Yeah.
time. What are you
Facts.
doing, dog? Come
Facts.
on, man.
Or it's somebody on a team that makes like 20 grand a year.
Yeah.
So the thing is this is the thing. Okay, I haven't been in school in a long time, right? Real estate. I got my license years ago. Okay, you guys are more recent. I mean, I know you have been licensed for a while now, but it's more recent. Whenever you were in real estate school, right? What did it say about giving gifts to buyers?
$25
I thought it was 50.
or 49.
Well, it's
I
in
mean,
agreement.
Whatever, 25, 50. I don't know.
below
I'm
Yeah.
asking.
$50
Below
for
50,
sure.
Okay, below $50. What are you getting at Cartier below $50?
the
La
gift
pulga.
bag. The gift bag.
No, I'm just saying. No, so my question is this:
Is it ethical?
what they're doing is unethical. It's against ethics. It's literally Trek says you're not supposed to do it. Why are they not in trouble? Why is
Wow.
nobody saying anything?
I didn't know this was going on.
I mean, what's
I
going
think it's
on?
low
Like-
self-esteem. It's probably a lot of women. Probably. I mean, social media is kind of corrupting their mind. I mean,
Surprisingly,
I
it's
love you,
guys.
girls. I love the women. But at the end of the
Surprisingly,
night-
it's guys.
Surprisingly,
bro.
the guys
the
are the
guys are
ones that
doing
coming
it?
up with
Yeah,
these
surprisingly.
So,
weird-
like on the outside, like we give like
The women are doing something else. Yeah.
so our client, like
Why you
God.
laugh? Why
oh,
you laugh?
the women are doing something
Guys, you
different.
have to respect. Come on.
I'm sorry.
You were
Women-
talking
women-
about like bags and stuff. I didn't know a guy was.
No,
I hope a guy's not buying a bag.
Women
for a
are-
client.
women
I
are-
mean,
Yeah, no, that's
They're
mainly
doing
what
that?
it is.
They're
That's mainly
buying-
what
oh my
it's
God.
the
guys.
guys are the
bro.
ones buying all this
What are y'all
luxury stuff,
doing,
And you
bro.
know
It's
what?
kind of gay.
What
He's
y'all-
actually
what are y'all
right. I
doing,
saw
bro?
this about
That's
this
not good,
experience
man.
about this guy from another
are y'all
country
doing?
that he made a sale where he earned like a big chunk of money and he bought like their clients' trip to Europe.
Yeah,
Nah.
And I was like, wait, hold on.
you're not
Come
supposed
on.
to
That's
do. You're not supposed to do
nice.
that.
I get the gesture.
It's against trick. It's against
I mean,
trick
yeah.
ethics and
Like
you
a
know,
big. I don't know what a big chunk of money is to the next guy, but So in our business, we write thank you cards, and then we buy a bottle of wine, and then we one of the boys, one of the guys that work at our office, his father owns Cleburne's Cafeteria over there on Kirby, right across the street from Lakewood Church. Don't go to Lakewood. But at the end of the night, right across the street from
why not go to Lakewood?
we can talk about it.
No.
Talk about
I don't
it.
think we have enough time,
Okay,
man.
fair enough, fair enough. But
We-
Cleburne's
we have a
Cafeteria,
few
Cleburne's
successful agents
Cafeteria
that,
is Cleburne's
swear by it.
Cafeteria is like the #1 cafeteria. Fresh food every day, the best. Greek family, awesome. Please go there. And we give them gift cards to go there. That's all we do. $50 gift card, bottle of wine, thank you card. But everybody at least gets a thank you card. Everybody gets a thank you
Yeah,
card.
I mean, thank you. Yeah, thank you for business.
Well, what I like to do is I build like a basket.
that's
Throughout
nice.
throughout the process,
nice.
I take into consideration what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So whatever they're talking about, I build a basket around.
yeah,
that.
nice.
everything needs to be catered to.
Yeah, that's nice.
Everything
To
needs to
them.
be catered to that person. You know,
Yeah.
you're closing a house in Pasadena. I doubt very much that somebody lives off of Thomas and Burke really needs a Cartier. You know,
That's
gift,
true too.
You know, and
You'll be
that's just my
surprised
opinion.
nowadays over there in Pasadena. Bro. Refinery workers over there killing it, dog. Don't be sleeping on the refinery workers, bro.
They need a Cartier pin to get their permits and their
They don't got the
refineries, bro.
401k, but they got the Cartier. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh
know
my
people were doing this.
All right.
All
it's
right,
so
he's
shocked.
like,
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
all right, like
you were
shocked,
so
bro. He's
in
like, what?
disbelief.
All right,
Like,
like
come
I'm in the wrong
Like-
business.
he's like, man, these realtors are losers,
I
bro.
mean, like let's just say like okay, like 3%. So you close a $500,000 deal. So you're getting like 30,000 or
15.
something. Oh, you're 15.
Yeah, roughly.
So you take $15,000. It's your first deal the whole year. It's June, and then all of a sudden you buy them a $3,000 bag. Is that really a good? I don't think that's a really good investment choice. Is that
That's
where
not a
are
really
we
good
talking
math.
are we talking about like
I don't-
rent? That's what I'm saying.
Mathing.
I don't
I mean,
think
that's-
it's a financial decision. I think it's a clout decision.
Yes,
I think-
Yeah,
no,
they're
you're
doing
right.
it
They're
more
taking
for the
they're
social
taking
media
pictures of-
aspect.
Yeah, you're
of it,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what?
That's exactly what
it's
it is.
funny that he brought up Lakewood because it all correlates. It's like the realtors that
It's
are
true.
doing these
Pharisees.
extravagant gifts, buying these luxury cars,
No, this is true.
super
My friends-
famous on
my friend,
on
this is true.
Instagram, and then they're also
I used to be
on
devout
Sunday at Lakewood
Lakewood
Church. It's
Eve.
like, wow, okay,
Yeah, I don't know if you guys read the Bible. I'm not gonna talk
Maybe-
about it. but
maybe
it's true.
Lakewood
It's
Church
true.
gives them their business.
Probably.
I didn't even think about
But
that.
do you know what the Pharisees are in the Bible? I don't know if you guys read the Bible, but the Pharisees are the people that just
This is
go
not
to
a
the-
this is not a religious.
Fair enough, but
this is not a
15 seconds.
religious,
15 seconds. The Pharisees are the
Bro,
ones that
come on, man.
no, they're the ones that go to the front of the line to shake the hand, to be seen, to dress in the nice suit, and just to be seen. And that's what's going on in that church. But that's all I got to say.
I don't know. I like Joel Osteen. He's cool.
I thought
He's a
that
nice
wasn't
guy.
a.
He's
a nice
that
guy.
was like a motivational.
He's a nice
He's
guy.
a motivational speaker.
He's
a nice
definitely,
guy.
but I like him. He's cool.
He's a good Pharisee.
He is a marketing freaking genius.
Mhm.
He took
Fair enough.
his little dad's barnyard church and turned it into what it is now.
Well,
And you have to give him that.
I give him that. I
Yeah.
love the guy. He's a nice.
Has
guy.
nothing to do with God, but
Good Pharisee.
it is.
Yeah.
Good
Good
Pharisee.
motivational speaker.
Yeah, he is.
He's a
He is,
good
definitely,
Pharisee.
Definitely.
Good
He's a good
speaker,
Pharisee.
And he gets good referrals too. Like,
Yeah.
better than us.
A lot of Pharisees in there.
So how would you guys recommend a realtor to give some kind of gift to their client if they wanted to? We've seen all kind. Do you recommend alcohol or just nothing at all? Just
I mean, just exactly what-
maximize on your services. Not maximize, but perfect your services.
Like with your
exactly what Flip said. I mean, you're dealing with this person for a good 30 days, right? So you're talking to him, you're getting rapport, you're learning about what they like, what they don't like. So your gift has to be customized to whatever that, if they play golf, buy them a golf ball, or a gift,
nice.
a gift that has to do with golf. If they, if they work, like you said, they work in the refineries, buy them something that has to do with the refineries, man.
That's
a
true.
lunchbox, something, nothing over $50, right? Or 25, whatever. I think I like Floyd's $25 better. Nothing over $25.
Did you say buy them a lunchbox for refineries?
Yeah.
That just clicked right now.
They don't eat lunch no more at the refinery.
No le mandan lonche. They get.
Damn, bro. Hey, the wives are too busy on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Exactly, bro.
Like cater to your client's needs, or cater to your client.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, you can't just be giving them whatever you feel like giving them.
That's true.
You have to give them something that will resonate with them, and that they will remember, and they'll oh my God, man, this guy was listening to me. He knows what I like, and hey, oh, remember that bottle that Nate? I've had people call me, say, hey man, remember that bottle you bought me closing gift, man? It was great. What was it called? And I not tell them what it is. I mean, you have to listen to your client. And it has to stick with them.
So kind of moving away from the client appreciation, but not really at the same time, right? Whenever somebody is leaving a regular 9-to-5 job, who they've been there for maybe 5 to 10 years, what kind of mentality do they need to adjust to? What kind of things do they need to become new habits in order for them to be able to provide the best customer service they can for their clients? Because coming from a regular 9-to-5 place, you're just told to do one thing, and you go out there, you do it, and you get paid, right? I'm always having to rewire my brain into sales mode, into providing above and beyond service, because I never had to do that in the past. So what kind of mentality does somebody need who is leaving a 9-to-5? What should they be practicing? Who should they be looking at in order to learn better habits to best treat their clients?
Yeah, that's a good question, Giovanni. Like, let's say a new agent goes to Lionsgate Realty. You need to look at the top producer and just don't reinvent the wheel. Just do exactly what he's doing. And then you learn from the people, you know what I mean? Because you're going from a 9-to-5, and I've done this, and then a jump into sales is a different world, my friend. Like it's all up to you. It's all up to you. And not a lot of people can take that responsibility that it's just up to them. So if you're joining a brokerage like Lionsgate Realty, you need to find the top producer and then just follow exactly what he's doing. You need to get some mentorship within the firm. Seeking outside influences is cool, but at the end of the night, like in the firm, like you go to Lionsgate Realty, you're a new real estate agent there. You need to find Giovanni. You need to find this guy or this gal, and then you need to follow exactly what they're doing. No reason to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already been invented.
And I agree with that. And that's one of the biggest pitfalls for agents, right? Is because instead of going into the company that they're going to work with, and looking for that top producer to learn from, or that agent that they see that they like, right? They're going to Instagram, they're going to social media, and they're following that agent. And then not just that, and this is something I think Giovanni, doesn't agree with me on this, but they're reading the wrong books, and they're looking at the wrong YouTube videos. They're looking at these people that are telling them, what to do.
Joel Osteen
yeah. So, they're reading the wrong books. They're looking at the wrong YouTube channels. They're doing all the wrong things, and I, this is one of the reasons why I don't hire realtors. And I've said it over and over and over, because they come to me and they tell me how to do this business. And I'm like, bro, I said, you're going to tell me how to run my business, how to do this business? No, right now is eyes and ears wide open and your mouth shut. And nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be validated. And those are the ones that fail. Those are the ones that don't make it. The ones that come in here with humility, the ones that come in here and recognize that there's people in this company that know way more than them, and they listen and ask tons of questions.
That's the guy.
Those are the ones that make money.
Yeah.
And we just it's hard to find those people anymore.
Lord, what do you think?
Oh my goodness. I think you have to, if you're not a people's person, you somehow have to at least try to be a people's person, and, try to understand the other people's needs for you to be able to help them, achieve whatever they're wanting to achieve. And as an agent, as a newer agent, or as person that is living in 9-to-5, going directly into sales, definitely you have to be like coachable.
Definitely 100%.
I think that's one of the biggest things. I mean, personally, I feel like I am a fast learner, but the fact that you are there and wanting to learn, is going to take you out there.
Sure, absolutely. They're like I'm not I'm not a real estate agent. I love real estate agents. I see real estate agents online, and then there's some real estate agents that crush it on social media, like 100%. They get referrals, that they're crushing it, like hands down. But then you get the new real estate agent that sees that person as an influence, and now they want to do that, and then that's their only source of like lead generation, and then trying to do the social media. No, you need to pick up the phone and start dialing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And they're trying to copy that person where they're at that moment.
Yeah.
They didn't see everything
yeah.
that person had to do
to get there.
there. So you're trying to copy them when they're at 500,000 followers or whatever it may be. And they're like, bro, like you're not Ryan Serham, bro. Like you're not him right now. What did he have to do a long time ago? We're watching some of his first
that's a good book. Celebrate.
Yeah. Watching some of his first very episodes for like the show that he did and how he got on. He used to go stand outside in a chicken suit for his open houses.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't in the nice cars at his $1 million listings at that point, whenever he got where he's at now, right? What he had to do to get there was completely different from what he's doing now. And everybody tries to copy on what that person is doing now.
So, I met Ryan about 3 months ago. I think it was like 3 months ago. About 2 or 3 months ago. I met him. He was right down the street. And so before I met him, I honestly didn't know much about him. I didn't see any of his. I had only seen one interview of him, and I don't remember what show it was. I think it was one of those late shows, right? And he got on there and he was saying that he essentially told everybody he was the #1 realtor in New York, and he had just gotten into the business, and that helped him. People were like, "Oh, he's the #1." Like everybody started seeing who he was, and then they started giving him business, and he didn't know what he was doing. And so he had to get with a company that helped him do that, right? That's the only thing I knew about him. So whenever I met him, right, it was an event that Chase had put together. And, since Chase is, we have a partnership with Chase, we went to that event. We were invited. And, I was like, oh my God, here we go. Another, real estate pro, right? He's a social media influencer. What does he know? He's a Netflix. I don't even know what channel he was on.
He just got his Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know what channel he was on before, but I just thought he was just a fraud, right? So I just went for I went for the clout. I went because I knew I was gonna take pictures with him. And so I went in there, sat down, listened to him, and the guy was real.
Yeah.
He was a real guy. He
cool.
wasn't preaching. He wasn't telling you he had the right. The way he does it is the way to do it. He was giving us real world advice. Essentially, what he said was that his him being famous in social media was just a stepping stone or a tool that he uses for his real estate business. Yeah. And that honestly, there's even some of his fame that really doesn't make him any money. He don't care for it. And that's why he's only in Miami. He's only in New York. He doesn't want to be nationwide, like most of these real estate companies, he wants to be where he's going to make money, And so when he was saying those things, bro, I was just eating up everything he was saying because he wasn't even trying to sell us anything. He was just there as a guest speaker, And
he's like in 22 million.
So so I went up to and he's fun, man. I made him shout out Lionsgate Realty McAllen, and I mean he was like he was having fun with us. Yeah. Oh man, dude, the guy is awesome. I like that.
I watched the video the other day. It was one of those guys that come up to like the successful people and ask you like for advice, and he said the #1 advice that I would give to the generation right now as real estate agents is like attention. So like social media is attention, sure, but at the end of the night, like that's one tool in your toolbox. You can't build a house with just one tool, right? So what other tools to get attention? I mean, like, come on, man. Like, my business, we do cold calling, we do text messaging, we do PPC. It's like we do door knocking, we do things like this to get outside the shell to get more attention.
Yeah, but that statement is wrong. KB Homes does build a home with just a mallet.
That's why they're the way they are. Yeah,
taking a little shot.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's numbered and color coded. You just hit it with a mallet.
Is it a Milwaukee or no? It's not even a Milwaukee. No, but one of the things that's been helping me since I've had to, even now, I still struggle with the 9-to-5 mindset all the time, and we have this discussion all the time, right? I have to break myself out of that, and one of the things that helps me a lot is almost pushing against like my automatic instinct is still from what I was doing back in the days, right? So back in the days, like at a regular job, what's the thing that they tell you, or managers tell you, or even your coworkers who train you? stop asking questions. Don't ask nothing, because then they're going to tell you to do more stuff. In sales, is the complete opposite. You want to ask questions. Don't ask stupid questions, right? Don't over talk, and don't talk yourself out of a deal, but ask the proper questions so it makes the job easier for you, so you get an understanding of who the person is that you're helping. So that makes it a lot easier. The more questions you ask, the important questions, the discovery questions, that's going to help you throughout the process. And I think that's something that I've always had to like work out of, because my thing was always, okay, don't ask more questions, because why? Back at work, don't ask more questions, give you more work. It's not going to lead to helping you out in your job.
That's true. So the only thing is, my friend, is that you said don't ask a dumb question, and then you don't know what a dumb question is until you ask that question. Then you realize it was a dumb question, so you don't ask it again. So to always take initiative and ask those questions. But something that I teach, or what we teach at our office, is question-based selling. 100%. You need to find out what's going on, but you can lead the sale by just asking questions. Like even hypothetical, there's so many different types of questions, but like hypothetical questions, just kind of get a feel of what's going on. Test questions, kind of feel like if they're ready to go, ready to motivate. Closing questions, all different types of questions, qualifying questions, all this. But question-based selling, questions are so important in sales, 100%.
So
go ahead. No, definitely. I do agree with that. I think, asking whatever you have to ask, whatever comes to you in mind to get, to that selling point. I mean, I don't think any question is going to be like a dumb question. I even tell my kids that. I mean, at school, if you have questions, ask. You always have to be asking. If you're not asking, you're not learning.
Yeah, I've been in 100% sales since 1997. Okay, and what a lot of people don't know what that means.
I wasn't even born yet.
It means you're a little older than all of us.
Yeah. So the thing is that 100% sales means that if you don't sell something, you don't make money. You don't get paid hourly. You don't get paid, anything else. If you don't sell something, you don't make a commission. You don't make money, and that's how it's been my whole life. And that's why the transition to selling real estate was very easy for me, right? Well, not easy. It was hard, but it just, my life was fixed in a way that I knew how to survive commission to commission, right? Yeah. And that's one of the hardest things too when you become a realtor. But I'm gonna drop a gem here, right? And this is something that one of my sales managers at the time, right? Because, mentors and coaches used to be called sales managers and sales directors, right? And what would happen was, they would, my sales manager would tell me, hey, do not talk about the sale. Do not talk about the product. Do not talk about anything but that person, and show interest in them for at least 5 minutes. Talk about nothing. That was a challenge that he would give us, You just gotta ask questions. And so I would talk to them for 5 minutes, and then I would push myself for more and more and more and more, so much to the point that if I meet somebody, I can have a conversation with them for an hour, hour and a half, and talk about absolutely nothing but about what that person wants to talk about, and show that interest in that person, to where sometimes we even get to the point like, oh man, I mean, I've even had clients tell me like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I know. Let me just get to the point, man. You know what? I want a house. I got 10 grand, and all I want to spend is whatever. Guard down, everything down. We're friends.
Rapport is powerful.
And that I tell my people to do that, but I make it sound easy, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not easy. It's not easy at first, because you're talking to a total stranger who already has their guard up, who already thinks you're a salesperson, you're the scum of the earth, and now you're a realtor, which is even a bigger scum of the earth now. And they want to talk. They want to they think you want to just take their commission and take their money. So have a conversation with them about nothing that has to do with real estate, or with what type of business or what type of transaction that you're doing. Just talk about them with whatever interests them. They want to talk about their job. They want to talk about their kids. They want to talk about their family. They want to talk about everything. Even I had a guy talk to me about his lineage, like 10 years back of his, 10 decades back of his lineage, about he's derives from some kind of Aztec, whatever. I'm like, oh, wow. I had to act like I was interested. I was like, oh, wow.
You were, though.
I was.
In a sense, for sure, yeah.
I don't believe in lineage, but, it is what it is,
But like when they talk about the Aztecs, and you're like, oh, cool. Then you start asking questions about the Aztecs, and it leads them into opening up more, open up more. Then you get your 5 minutes, but then they're opening up more about themselves. And you redirect that into the sale. And then you keep asking questions about this, and this, and you lead more questions. But yeah, that's Dude, I love that, Nate.
Yeah, I had a guy, James. His name is James Hunter. Okay, and James Hunter, I don't know if he still owns Anglia Homes or not, but I was slamming people on homes, and what I mean by that is that I had kind of lost my love for sales and my love for real estate for a while there, and I was just kind of, you know, people were walking in the freaking my model home, and I was just everybody was I was contracting everybody. I was like they would not leave my place, and then they would leave, and they'd call the corporate
like
and
buy or die.
Yeah, they'd call corporate, kind of upset, kind of felt like I had pressured them into. They felt like I had pressured them into buying, you know.
We've all been
And
there.
so I got called to corporate, and I sat down with him. And the guy was pretty much saying, you know, one of the owners was like, oh, you're just slamming, and you don't care about them, and you do this, and you're not showing compassion, and you're this and that, and we're starting up, and we need customer service, and whatever. And I said, look, man, I said I just don't want to do this anymore. So then I remember James Hunter, he said, look, man, he goes, I'm telling you right now, he goes, you and a handful of people that I know, and I've been in the business for a long time, he goes, you guys have a talent. You guys can talk to people for 5 minutes and know that person's a buyer or a seller.
Sure.
You know, and that's a talent, he said, but it's also a curse because you lose interest. And I said, man, you're right. I said, you're absolutely right. And he actually helped me regain my love for people, regain my love for my business.
What did he do?
He just essentially told me, think about what you do. You give people homes.
See, I'm asking him
you
questions.
give them lives. He thinks running game on, but he's not. He was asking me, he was telling me, hey, you know what? He goes, what do you do? And I said, so homes. He goes, no, you don't. You sell lifestyles. You make families. People make families in these homes. And man, he just just went through the whole thing, and he made me look at real estate from a point of view that I hadn't seen it from. And then my love for real estate started.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
How that could happen.
Yeah. But that was after the crash. You
that.
got to remember that. I mean, this was 2010. We had a rough 3-4 years. I mean, it was tough, you know, kind of like what all the realtors are going to go through in the next 5 years.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and close out. This is a great podcast again. Thanks for coming on again. I'm going to let you exit out in a bit. But yeah, I think the way to endless referrals and client appreciation is just refining your skills and becoming the best salesperson possible and actually doing it for your clients. I'm Giovanni Frank, your local Houston realtor here with Lionsgate Realty, host of HBR. I'm gonna go ahead and let Floyd exit out, and then again remind them to let everybody know where they can find you. Okay.
Flor Velasquez with Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on my social medias, Flor Velasquez Realtor. Till next Wednesday.
So, Nate Valderas, you can find me in all my social media outlets at Better Call Nate.
You better call Nate too, my friend. Orion Grove, ATS Capital. I'll leave you just one thing. If you never see me again, never talk to me, never hear from me again, in sales, money's the byproduct of the services you provide. So don't think about the money. Don't think about the commission, because they can smell it on your breath and they can see it in your eyes. Service. Services. Money's the byproduct of the service you provide, my friends.
Agree.
Until next time.